There's a secret band of fascia in your back that could be contributing significantly to your back pain, but most people don't even know it exists. This area is called your thoracolumbar fascia, and it sits in this area around your lower rib cage on the back side of your body. Under normal circumstances, it should serve as a junction and a highway for proper force transfer from the trunk to the limbs. Every time we take a step forward when we walk or we run, or our foot meaningfully interacts with the ground in any way, we need to be able to handle what we call ground reaction forces. This means that as we push into the ground pushes back up at us. This is basic physics. And in order to properly do this, we need to be able to properly manage and disperse forces in our trunk and our feet and our limbs, etc. Or else one part of the body will take too much load. For example, if we can't evenly distribute forces through our core when we're walking or running or doing whatever, lifting weights for example, then our low back might take over too much of that force or that load. When this happens, bands of fascia like the thoracolumbar fascia can get really overactive and irritated. Unfortunately, there are a lot of nociceptive nerve endings in this particular area of fascia, which is why it can contribute so significantly to people's pain, especially in that area and in the low back in general. This band of fascia is particularly overactive in people that have extension of the back, because this area is now in a shortened position. So the goal to downregulate tension in this area of our fascia is first we need to just lengthen it out, decompress it, teach it how to just chill out. But then we need to teach our body to better handle force going into the ground and grounding of our foot and our lower limb, working with our core and not as much our low back and this band of fascia. We do want this fascia working, just not all the time in overdrive. So if this is making sense to you and you're learning something and taking something away from the video, it would mean a lot to me in the channel if you could like it, but also subscribe to the channel and also ping that alert bell. So that way you can see more videos I release like this every single week. So the first exercise I'm gonna show you is to create better length through this space. The second one is gonna serve to better get our foot to interact with the ground and our core as we, for example, move through the gait cycle. If you want a more individualized approach, or you're feeling this band of fascia is more overactive on one side than the other, check out my beginner body restoration program. It's designed for, as the title suggests, anyone to be able to do, and it's simple, easy exercises progressed over multiple phases to address a lot of the common movement limitations, pain experiences, and bad posture that a lot of people are commonly predisposed to. This first thing we're gonna do is just to get length and decompress that area of the fascia. So we're gonna take a foam roller and slide it underneath the base of the backside of our pelvis, just above our tailbone. And we're just gonna hug our knees nice and easy to our chest like this. You don't wanna go so far back to the point where you feel any tension on the front side of your hips. Never go back that far. Only a point where you feel completely 100% relaxed in your hips and your low back. Then tilt your chin back so that way it's passively pointing at the ceiling. Now exhale all the air out of your mouth until you feel a little bit of your side abs engage. It's a nice open mouth, relaxed jaw like this. Do that for about 5 to 10 seconds. Then pause, close your mouth. Keep that pause and those abs on for about 3-ish seconds, and then inhale very silently but fully through your nose. You're gonna feel that area in your mid to low back expand if you keep those abs slightly engaged. The inhale should be very relaxed and no neck engagement whatsoever. As you get better at this, you can slowly pull your knees back a tiny bit further with each breath, or you can just keep them in the same position. If this doesn't feel comfortable for your back, what you could do is just hug the back of your hamstrings instead, like this, or you could just simply drop your feet all the way down to the ground and keep your hands on your low ribs to ensure that you're not feeling any tension or arching through your back. I recommend doing this for about 2 sets of 10 slow breath cycles. This next exercise, as I touched on earlier, is gonna help us not overly rely on using the back to create stability and transfer of forces. What we really wanna do is help better stack the rib cage and the pelvis and help use the obliques to manage intra-abdominal pressures, what we call it, so that way we can better manage forces throughout our trunk and our core and transfer that properly down to the limbs. So it's key in this exercise, we're not engaging our back or even our neck, we're keeping those very quiet, but we're focusing on feeling the abs work with the pressure going into the wall, which is emulating the floor for those ground reaction forces. To do this, you're gonna grab 2 small pillows double folded or 1 large one and not folded fold it. You're gonna slide the first one underneath your lowest rib cage, so that way your bottom side hip bone can stay flat on the ground. And then this one is underneath your head, so that way your neck can stay nice and neutral. You wanna have a 90-degree bend at both your knees and also your hips, just like this. This arm is just straight out, totally relaxed. Shoulders are stacked on top of each other. You wanna make sure that your ankles are perfectly in line with your knees. They're not too far back right here. They're nice and in line, just like that. Now, this is very simple. All you're gonna do is first exhale to feel the rib cage come down a little bit. Without slouching excessively, just feel the ribs come down, a nice 5 to 10 second exhale. Now, as you do that, at the end of the exhale, you're gonna feel your downside side abs engage more than your top side. That's what you're looking for, because what you're gonna do is train pressure going into the wall with this downside, working with the downside side abs. So exhale, find those downside side abs, make sure your neck and low back are relaxed at this point. Now what you're gonna do is put pressure into the wall with the downside foot at the points of your heel, 50% of the way here. The other 50% is spread between the base of your big toe and base of your little toe on the downside foot. As you maintain the abs, about a 3, 4 out of 10 on the downside, you're gonna press into the wall evenly through that foot. And you're gonna see, starting at a 1, then go to a 2, then go to a 3, and then find the point at which if you press any harder, you're going to feel your back or your neck engage at all. Even just 1% of back or neck engagement is too much. So for most people, they're gonna start around a 2 out of 10. The goal is to only feel 2 things: your downside side abs engaged a little bit and pressure going into the wall right here. You might feel a little bit of glute or quad working on this leg, that's fine. But for the most part, it should just be pressure going into the wall here and those downside side abs. Now you're gonna do the same exact breathing on the last exercise. Full exhale through the mouth for about 5 to 10 seconds. Feel these abs engage a little bit more. Pause. Inhale very slowly, not engaging your neck. And over time through this set, you can place a little bit more pressure through the wall, but always never at the cost of engaging your neck or low back. You're gonna do this for about 2 to 3 sets of 8 breaths. If you're having a hard time feeling your downside side abs, something you can experiment with is keeping your rib cage down after that full exhale. Push the side of your hip on the downside into the floor. That's gonna reach this hip away from you, but not at the cost of you arching your back to do so. Just a subtle little reach like this. That'll help you engage those downside side abs, and then you can press into the wall, and then everything is the exact same. Make sure your toes and your whole foot is relaxed. It's just pressure going in like so.